Every day in South Africa, teenage girls walk into classrooms carrying more than books. Some carry secrets, some carry fear, some carry life. Teen pregnancy is often reduced to numbers, charts, percentages, policy debates. But behind every statistic is a girl whose childhood ends quietly, long before the baby arrives. This is not a story about bad choices. It is a story about silence and the cost of looking away.
In May, June, July, around that time in 2006 now, that's when I found out I was pregnant, and I was 16 years old at that time. So when I found out I was pregnant, well, I didn't find out in a way. My family told me. There was a lady who used to stay with me, with my aunt, and then she told me, Xoli, you are pregnant. And I was only 16. I'm like, that cannot happen to me. I'm a child, even though I'm doing adult things, but I'm a child, so that cannot happen to me. So I really ignored her until I went on, and I was now missing my periods. Months were going by until I realized that, you know what, this is really happening. I am actually really pregnant.
Xolisile Mazibuku grew up in Ngobo in the Eastern Cape. In grade 9, she moved to Johannesburg for better schooling. That same year, she met an older man. Months later, she was pregnant.
I told the guy who I was dating at that time, listen, bruh, there's a thing that's happening, I'm pregnant. And then he was like, you know what, it's fine, we will see what we're gonna do as time goes on, we will see. Then we continued, but then by the time my uncles, because there's a tradition in our black families that if you're pregnant out of wedlock, the uncles must go and at the guy's place. So we went there. When we got there, the guy was now like, you know what, I'm not sure if the baby is mine, so we're gonna have to wait until the baby's born. I don't know how I walked from home that day, back from where I was to his place to home, because the last time we spoke, he was okay with everything. And now in front of my family, it was so embarrassing that now I'm in front of my family. Now this is what you're going to say in front of my uncles. How must my uncles take me? How will they think I am? What kind of a girl am I? And I'm only 16 for that matter. So now I'm 16, I don't know who made me pregnant, because that's what you're saying. You're saying you're not sure if you are the father of the child. So it broke me. It really broke me.
Xolisile dropped out of school just before giving birth. She had no baby clothes. She wrapped her newborn in blankets she found dumped. 18 years later, the father has never supported the child.
I remember it was now time for me to give birth, and I didn't have any clothes for the child. And remember now I was doing grade 10 in 2006. In the whole 2007, I had to drop out of school and not go to school. I've got a baby. I don't know how I'm gonna now even take him out of hospital with, because everyone's like, we brought you here to go to school, to study. So we don't understand how you got yourself into this now mix. And no one, when I say no one, I mean no one was interested. I remember when I was about to give birth,
So take your time.
sorry. There was a dumping site just behind our house here in Thokoza. So I found a small old rag that has been thrown there. And then there was also some baby clothes. I don't know. I always tell myself that maybe someone or God placed those clothes there for me. I don't know. I took them home and then I washed them. That's what I used to take my child out of hospital.
For Refilwe Chirwa, pregnancy arrived during her matric year.
Years ago, attained the age of 17. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't have, the exact feeling of what I felt at that time. I was young, so I can't really tell you that I was upset. I didn't know what was going on, I didn't even know I was pregnant. So obviously, when I did find out that I'm actually pregnant, I was scared. I think that was the first thing. I was really, really scared. I was nervous. And more than anything, I was worried about my future. Okay, this is happening. What's going to happen to me? I was only in matric. I found out that I was pregnant 3 months into my pregnancy. Okay, so I'd obviously missed my period. And again, it goes back to being, I don't want to use the word foolish, but, not very educated about much. You need to remember that our parents, of that generation, they don't really talk to us about teenage pregnancies, practicing, safe intercourse and all of that. We didn't get all of that, So even when I missed my period, I didn't even realize that you're missing your period and something could be wrong. You could be pregnant. So only when I started getting sick was when I was like, okay, what is really going on? And I think I had a chat with my sister because I think she had noticed. So I think we took a pregnancy test, then found out that I was pregnant. So I wasn't the one to break the news to my parents. My sister did. I gave birth in 2007, I was in matric, and the one very important milestone, if I can call that, I missed because of the pregnancy was my matric dance. So I don't have matric dance experience because I think the day of my matric dance, I was 4 days postpartum, right? So there was no way in hell that I would have went to this matric dance. The following year, 2008, I was forced to take a gap year because I had to work, and it's something that I was very comfortable with.
She wrote her final exams, carrying more than academic pressure. The following year, her parents instructed her to take a gap year to raise her child. She worked. She returned to varsity. She kept going.
If you are a man, right, or a teenage boy, and you've made somebody pregnant, you've made somebody pregnant. You have a responsibility, just as much as that girl who's 16 and pregnant has a responsibility. So do you. Same as the family of the boy. They have a responsibility. They know that their son impregnated another child, in another household. It all boils down to choice. You can't teach responsibility. If you know that you've messed up somewhere, if you know that, okay, there's a certain girl in this household that I've made pregnant, it is your responsibility. These things are not, they are not told to you. They shouldn't be told to you because you already know, what you did and the results that came after. That's it. It's choice. They make the choice not to. They know what they're supposed to do. They know their responsibility. They know they have a responsibility, but it's the choice. They just choose not to. Unfortunately, majority of the fathers are missing in action, are MIA.
In Tembisa, Rhudzani's story brings the crisis into the present.
I never really got this whole thing of missing my periods and all that. So it was this one time when I went home for Easter and I got really, really sick. And after quite some time, my mom told me to come back to Tembisa because I am really sick. I was always vomiting. So I came back, and immediately when I came back, my mom suggested we should do a pregnancy test. And we did one. To my surprise, it came out positive.
She was 17.
To be honest, my mom was very, very, very angry at me. But after 30 minutes or so after finding out the results, she came to my room. She started advising me on how to treat myself now that I'm pregnant. By that time, I was not in that state that I'm really, really pregnant. I wasn't really accepting the fact that I'm pregnant. If she hadn't came to me after 30 minutes to advise me on how I have to handle myself, I have already thought of having an abortion. So if she didn't come, then it means we'd be talking a different story today. There were times where I have cuts. There were times where I tried ending my life, but then because sometimes I tell myself, no, Rhudzani, you have all the support you need. Why do you have to end your life? Your parents are there for you. They literally feed your cravings. They do everything for you. So when a teen mom gets support, it makes things even more easier because I was even able to push myself that I must complete school. If I didn't have the support, I swear I wouldn't have focused on my studies and tried to make it to matric.
Teen pregnancy doesn't only affect the womb, it affects the mind.
I was so overwhelmed that I brought this upon myself, and now I gotta face it. But I told myself, if I'm gonna run away from it, then who am I leaving the burden for to face? So I have to face it myself.
There were 4 pregnant girls in her class. Only one finished matric.
There were 4 of us who were pregnant in my class. I was the only one who made it to matric. The rest, the other one dropped out, and then the rest of the 2, they were repeating the grades. I was able to complete matric. I am currently employed. I've just recently completed my matric last month, but then already I'm currently employed. So it doesn't really end your life. It's just how you take it, just how you handle it that will determine your future.
Rhudzani and Xolisile were victims of statutory rape. Rhudzani was 17, Xolisile was 16.
There was a time where I visited my antenatal clinic for the first time, and I was told they have to arrest him because I was 17 and he was 22 years. He was 5 years older than me. They said it's statutory rape. I didn't know what to decide on because he was acting up at the same time he was being there sometimes. So I didn't know which way to choose. But then I ended up saying, no, you guys can't arrest him because maybe he's just scared at this moment. He'll come back to his senses. So it's better we just leave things the way they are.
He was 27 and I was 18 years. 16. Yes, he was 27 and I was 16.
I believe you know what is right. You know, as an adult who has made a child, you know you have a child. So I don't think it is fair on me. I don't even think it's my responsibility to remind an adult that, hey, you have a child, So I know my children are my responsibility, and I just make sure that I live up to my children's expectations. As a parent, as a mom, I make sure that I'm present in my children's life, financially, emotionally, in every way possible. But I'm not going to teach that to someone else, be it the father of the child or the extended family members, the paternal side. Absolutely not.
Across these stories, a pattern emerges. Men disappear, girls stay. Society debates morality. Teenagers raise children.
We had to be there for her to support her so that the love that you give her, okay, this baby deserves love also because this is a new person. She was just given to her, this is your baby. And it's a whole soul. So we had to be 100% supportive when it comes to hygiene. Ngwana o ja eng, what time ngwana tshwantse a tlhape, ngwana tshwantse a be educationally from the young age a ye crash, all those things. Like, we had to be there. Even now, yeah, we still support her no matter what. Mokae, we thank my mom. Yeah, she was there for us. She was literally there for us. Yeah.
This is where the stories begin to differ, where Xolisile faced abandonment and Refilwe raised a child alongside silence. Rhudzani survived because someone stayed. Xolisile turned her pain into purpose. She wrote Whispers of Change and now mentors pregnant teens. Refilwe is a businesswoman and a mother of 3. Rhudzani works, raises her child, and carries scars the camera can barely capture.
I was scared. And also I felt so bad that I'm disappointing one person who took me from the Eastern Cape. Now she wanted to give me a better life in Johannesburg. And here I am pregnant with a man who's now saying I took it as he's saying he doesn't know who made me pregnant. So he's saying he's not the the father of the baby. So I felt so scared, embarrassed, and a whole disappointed in myself. So I felt really bad. To tell you the truth, I just didn't enjoy anything about that. You know, I would get questions from people asking me, what would you do if the baby were to die? I was like, I would be happy. I don't need this baby. I don't know what to do with this baby. I'm only 16 years old. What will I do with this baby? So the journey was not nice. My pain has got to be teenage pregnancy. I experienced a lot of pain during my teenage pregnancy. And even after that, that has got to be what I must raise awareness about. Mentorship with Xoli was born. It's been beautiful. And, you know, sometimes we don't really realize things when we do them. We're just thinking, you know what, one girl at a time. But the impact, the outcome we get out of those girls, it's amazing to see that, you know what, I changed the child's life. She is now thinking differently because I was introduced into her life. So it's going very well. It's very nice. It's also a nice feeling, you know, when you can give something out without having to expect something back. It's beautiful.
I don't think if I was well educated or if I got the advice that I needed from parents, you know, I would have been where I am today, you know. I don't regret my children, my kids, both of them, all of them are a huge blessing. And I don't believe, you know, in things that just happen. I believe things happen for a reason. Nothing happens by coincidence, you know. So my daughter's here because she was meant to be here. But I believe that if proper, you know, I don't want to say system because that doesn't sound right, but if I had, you know, proper talk with my mom, or both of them, my mom and dad, you know, beforehand, it would have avoided a lot of things. It is not the end for you. Look at me, girl, you know. It is not the end for you. Of course, I haven't made it. I'm not driving a Lambo yet or a Porsche yet, but you are gonna make it. It's easy to, not easy per se, but it's possible. As long as you're focused, you've got your eye on the prize, but more than anything, you are taking care of your child.
To be honest, I don't really wish teens to become pregnant. To all the teen mothers out there, do not fall pregnant. Try and protect yourself in any way possible. There are contraceptives, there are so many ways to you should actually abstain from sexual engagement at a young age. I gave birth through cesarean section. Now I have a saggy tummy, I have stretch marks. I don't see myself the way I used to anymore. I don't feel comfortable in any of the clothes that I wear. I tried redoing my wardrobe, but then still there's nothing that I wear that I feel comfortable in. So basically, teenage pregnancy, it literally ruins your life. A baby, it is indeed a blessing, but then somehow it ruins your life.
Their resilience is undeniable, but survival should not be the standard. Protection should be. Teen Teen pregnancy is not just a teenage problem. It is a community problem, a family problem, a national problem. Every pregnant teenager was once a child who needed guidance. What happens next depends on whether society chooses judgment or care. Because silence does not prevent teen pregnancy. It only guarantees that when it happens, a girl will face it alone. For Newzroom Afrika, on channel 405, I'm Lopang Mokae in Johannesburg.